He's a really good fit for three reasons. One, well, he's not going to be starting, right? So, I know he wants a starting job, but if he's going to back up somewhere, why not back up in a place where, one, they run the read option? That's what Kaepernick does. Can already do that. So there's one reason. Two, who's the coach in Seattle? Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's a player's coach. He's tolerant of individuality, and clearly Kaepernick is not shy about expressing his individuality in a sport where a lot of coaches really aren't that tolerant of that. They want conformity. So Pete Carroll's the read option's the right system. Pete Carroll's the right coach. And finally, the city. Much like San Francisco, Seattle is the kind of town whose politics Kaepernick will fit in better with than in many other towns, right? So for those three reasons, in fact, I think Seattle's a really good fit for Kaepernick.
Well, primarily he's a great fit for them because of their defense. Their defense is going to neutralize a lot of offenses, so as a result, he's not going to be required to put up an abundance of points in order to win football games. And as a result of that, the pressure is going to minimize, and he'll benefit from that. He can make plays with his legs, not so much with his arms, even though he can make a play with it, but it's his legs, his athletic ability, his speed. He's got a big arm, but not an accurate one. So because of it, he can make certain throws, there's no question, but it's the dual threat that he possesses, combined with the fact that he'd be backing up somebody who's also a dual threat, that you don't have to necessarily change your offense for him, because he can do a lot of the things athletically that Russell Wilson can do. So that's a benefit. But again, I harken back to that defense, because if you put Colin Kaepernick in a situation where a game is tight, he's an excellent threat, because you don't know how he can hurt you, because he can hurt you with his arms or his legs. But you can't rely upon him to drop 25, 30, 35 points a game for you. He's not that kind of quarterback. But he is the kind of quarterback, if you need a particular game-winning drive because a defense has neutralized an offense to 10 or 13 points or something along that line, he can get that done for you. And that's what makes him an attractive commodity, not to mention the fact that Bennett is right in this regard. Some of those players in that locker room, a lot of them would ingratiate themselves with Colin Kaepernick because of the stance he took and because of the brothers that they have in that locker room. And they're a bit hardcore in that regard, so they'd embrace him the way some other franchises might not.
Makes so much sense.
And let's not forget, it wasn't that long ago where, for example, on Sports Nation, going back 3 or 4 years, I guess, at this point, maybe 2 or 3 years, we were talking about which young quarterback is best, and it was Andrew Luck and Cam Newton and Russell Wilson. It was what quarterback under a certain age, and Colin Kaepernick. There were 4. Maybe I'm forgetting one more. I mean, those were RG3. Those were the young quarterbacks that people were debating who's better, who'd you rather have. And there was a time, right around the time I'm referring to, where a lot of people are arguing Kaepernick over Russell Wilson. Now, since then, things have been revealed about their play consistently that tells you you'll take Russell Wilson, obviously, over Colin Kaepernick. But to have as a backup a guy who was in the conversation based on his body of work after 2 full seasons in the NFL, that was comparable to your starter and who can run the same kind of offense, that is a boon to a team, including Seattle.